If it's abstract, it's not. Right? So if you're talking about love and hate and war and peace and freedom and justice and liberty, those are all abstract ideas. And it's great to write about those things, but you have to show things that are happening that demonstrate those things. Right? So like the national anthem is all about sort of freedom and courage, but it shows you that thing by the bombs bursting in the air and the smoke and the flag still being there, et cetera, et cetera. So you need it to be concrete. And we often, when we think about writing descriptively, we often rely much too heavily on abstract adjectives. And it's like, oh, I've got to write specifically. I'll just throw a bunch of adjectives into every sentence. What's an example? Can anybody think of an example of an adjective that's abstract? And there's a lot. Probably most adjectives are abstract. Abstract, yeah, I'm sorry. Loudly, yeah. And I'll say this too, adjectives sort of exist on a spectrum from abstract to concrete. And some things are kind of a mix of the two. Loudly kind of falls probably closer to abstract, but there's something even kind of concrete about loudly. It does speak to a sense. Abstract adjectives are words like great, awesome, terrible, huge, savage. Right, I could go on and on and on and on about abstract adjectives. These are things that are fine to use on occasion, but if you're using them in your writing, they don't show anything. You can't picture any of this stuff. You can't hear any of this stuff. And so in a sense, if you're just relying on a lot of abstract adjectives to tell a story, you're not helping the reader see anything or hear anything. Right? Like, what does huge mean? Well, like, it's relative. It's, 20 pounds might be huge for a 3-month-old baby, but it would be tiny for an adult man. So that's a relative thing. Huge doesn't show us anything. Okay. So what kind of adjectives are concrete then? Rough, spiky. Those are closer to the concrete end of the spectrum. Yeah. No. It's still not abstract. What?
I want to say that you're the 11 pounds
Colors are concrete. Okay. Units of measurement. Rather than saying humongous, you could say, the man weighs 650 pounds. 650 pounds is much more concrete and specific than just saying he was fat. Okay.
Are you recording this? Just have it out.
It talks about he tied his right shoe. Right is pretty concrete. We all know the difference between left and right. We can see that if we were shown a picture.